Hello friends, I am Sunil Ranjan and I am an English teacher. Now, here I have come up with a summary of The Mayor of Casterbridge, and this is a novel written by Thomas Hardy. So here I begin. Michael Henchard is travelling with his wife Susan. He is looking for employment as a hairdresser. When they stop to eat, Henchard gets drunk. In an auction that begins as a joke but turns serious, he sells his wife and their baby daughter, Elizabeth Jane, to Newson, a sailor, for 5 guineas. In the morning, Henchard regrets what he had done and goes to the town looking for his wife and daughter. Unable to find them, he goes into a church and takes an oath that he will not drink alcohol for 21 years. 18 years later, after the sailor's death, Susan and Elizabeth Jane seek Henchard. Elizabeth Jane believes he is just a long-lost relative. They arrive in Casterbridge and learn that Henchard is the mayor. Henchard and Susan meet and decide that Henchard will court and remarry Susan so that Elizabeth Jane accepts their union naturally. Meanwhile, Henchard hires Donald Farfrae, a young Scotchman, as the new manager of his corn business. Elizabeth Jane is infatuated by Farfrae. The two begin to spend time together. Henchard becomes alienated from Farfrae as the young man consistently outshines Henchard in every respect. He asks Farfrae to leave his business and to stop courting Elizabeth Jane. Susan falls ill and dies soon after her remarriage to Henchard. After discovering that Elizabeth Jane is not his own daughter but Newson's, Henchard becomes increasingly cold towards her. Elizabeth Jane then decides to leave Henchard's house and live with a lady who has just arrived in town. The lady is Lucetta Templeman. She is the woman with whom Henchard was involved during Susan's absence. Having known of Susan's death, Lucetta has come to Casterbridge to marry Henchard. While Lucetta is waiting for Henchard, she meets Farfrae, who has come to meet Elizabeth Jane. The two get close and eventually get married. Lucetta asks Henchard to return to her all the letters she had sent him. On his way to deliver the letters, the messenger Job stops at an inn. The peasants there convince him to open and read the letter aloud. Discovering that Lucetta and Henchard have been romantically involved, the peasants decide to hold a humiliating parade portraying Lucetta and Henchard together. The event takes place one afternoon when Farfrae is away. When Lucetta sees that, she faints and becomes very ill. Shortly afterwards, Lucetta dies. While Henchard has begun to hate Farfrae, he has grown closer to Elizabeth Jane. The morning after Lucetta's death, Newson, the sailor, who is actually still alive, arrives at Henchard's door and asks for Elizabeth Jane. Henchard tells him that she is dead and Newson leaves in sorrow. Elizabeth Jane stays with Henchard and also begins to spend more time with Farfrae. One day Henchard learns that Newson has returned to town. He decides to leave rather than face Newson. Elizabeth Jane is reunited with Newson and learns of Henchard's dishonesty. Newson and Farfrae start planning the marriage of Elizabeth Jane and the Scotchman Farfrae. Henchard comes back to Casterbridge on the night of the marriage to see Elizabeth Jane, but she snubs him. He leaves again, telling her that he will not return. She soon regrets her coldness, and she and Farfrae, her new husband, go looking for Henchard so that she can make peace with him. Unfortunately, they reach too late, only to discover that Michael Henchard had died alone in the countryside. He had left a will. His dying wish is to be forgotten. So here I come to the end of the summary, my dear friends, And if you have subscribed to my channel, well, thank you. If you haven't, do subscribe to my channel, for then I'll be meeting you with final videos in the time to come. Thank you.